Hello? Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo goo goo. It's painting feckin' goo. It's painting goo. Painting goo. What will we do? Nobody knew. Nobody knew. What do we do? Painting goo. Sip, rant, goo. Paint, paint, rant. Ugh. Painting goo 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 goo. Paint, sip, rant, goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Oh, fuck! I'm tired. Painting goo goo goo. It's painting feckin' goo. It's painting goo. Painting goo. Nobody knew. What do we go? Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Right. Are the people firing in? Are the glorious people firing in? Ben! Greetings, Ben! How are you? Are you where, Ben? Welcome to Painting Goo, Ben. Painting Goo. 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 Painting Goo. If you're wondering where the piano is coming from, you will have to head over to YouTube and watch me there. Only my YouTube subscribers get to watch the magical monkey play the piano for the intro. Painting Goo Goo Goo. It's painting feckin' goo. It's painting goo. Greetings, Fiacre Faginu. Welcome to Painting Goo. Painting Goo. Painting Goo. Goo Goo Goo. Goo 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 Goo. If you want to see the magical monkey play the intro for the stream on the piano, you must head over to YouTube and watch me there. TikTok doesn't get to see the magical monkey play the piano. Not yet, anyway. That's it, Myro. Bring it home. Remind these filthy mortars of the meaning of beauty and honor as we begin another glorious episode of Painting Goo. Painting Goo. Goo, 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 goo. Right. Enough of the intro music. People are firing in. Fikra Faginu. Still here. Tasha, welcome. Welcome to Painting Goo, Tasha. Are you where? Greetings, Tasha. From where in the realm do you hail? Welcome to Painting Goo, where we paint with goo. Squash. Squash. It's got goo in it. But so does Painting Goo. Which, believe it or not, Painting Goo is how you say painting in Japanese. I myself could not believe it, but, well, I could, because everything in Japanese is oo. Where are my tunes? There we go. Right. It's Techno Tuesday. So here we go. Ah, glorious. Let me know how it sounds. Let me know how it looks. William, welcome to PEINTEINGU. Goodbye, William. PEINTEINGU, go, 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 go. Right. As I place my royal rag on my divine knee in preparation for the goo. And descend into proper PEINTEINGU posture. Where's my thingy? Glorious. Excuse me, Micah. You still squeaking, Micah? Whoop, 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 whoop. Right, let's get some goo on this parrot. Where's my thingy? We have a cup of agua. Is there enough white in this? Am I running out of white? Like Europe? Let me see. A few squirts from my tiny mister. Get some agua in there. Oh, glorious! Pistachio nuts. Ah, you have returned, Ben. Glorious. Greetings, Ben. DHU. Welcome to PEINTEINGU. I must first load the parrot with goo and shake the goo. It's always important to shake the goo before we PEINTEINGU. Paint. Goo. Paint. Goo. A basic parrot. White, black, red, yellow, and blue. A very basic parrot. All you really need to PEINTEINGU. But you must shake the goo. Very important to shake the goo. The goo has been shaked. We return today to Cape Verde, off the west coast of Africa, I believe. Looks like a beautiful place, does it not? Oh, this one is a stiff bitch. I must occasionally switch chats. Ah, there we go. Desmondu-sama. Pruneru-sama. Welcome. PEINTEINGU. First on YouTube. Oh shit. I never got rid of monkey camera for YouTube. All I can see is the monkey. My apologies, my beloved Japanites. My apologies. I never turned off the monkey cam. All I can see is a monkey playing a piano. Hilarious. I already have goo all over my handu. I look like Aztec warrior after sacrifice. Right. My royal rag is upon my divine knee. The goo is upon the parrot. The tunes are praying. My fan is keeping me cool. Let's get these bitches wet. Huh? It's time to goo. We return to Cape Verde, where Hercules is preparing to take a mighty swing at a... What verb, what adjective should I use to describe the priest? Pontificating... What's that word that begins with P? Prostratizing? It's one of those P's. It's not one of the many P's of painting goo, I tell you that much. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Okie dokie. Let's get some finer detail on Hercules here. Let me see. Go with the skinny bitch. I must make some more fresh color. Get a bit of yellow. Cream the bitch. How are my beloved Japonita this fine? What day is it? Tuesday. Painting. A dash of red. Some more white. Paint. Goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Right, Hercules. Your hands need a bit of work, my friend. Painting goo goo. Goo goo goo. Painting goo goo. Goo goo goo. Ah, Iron Man Burrow. Welcome. Oakrand in the house. Painting goo. Goo goo goo. Goo goo goo. Goo goo goo. Painting goo. Goo goo goo. Goo goo goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Goo goo goo. Make his flesh a bit brighter. Many rayers make right work. That arm is very wrong. That is a very wrong arm. More red. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. If it is wrong arm, which is the right one? He has 2 wrong arms. Both his arms are 2 wrong. Paint. Paint. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo.
We sit in the sun, in maze, we sleep, and we dream. Each of us dying slowly, the prison of our minds. We sit in the sun.
We paint and we go.
In maze, we sleep,
And we go.
and we dream.
And we paint.
Each of us dying slowly, the prison of our minds.
That female sounds very depressed. In a prison of our own minds. How can you listen to tunes like this and be depressed too?
Yeah.
Not you. The bitch singing the song. Giving me looks like. You talking about me? No, I'm not talking about you. Alright, okay. Yeah. Whenever I say female, it doesn't always apply to you. What about this? What? Oh, okay. On WhatsApp, like, okay. Alright, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, you too, yeah. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo.
I demand to know what's going on in my house.
Goo 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 goo. I demand to know what's going on in my house. You would, wouldn't you? I mean, like, it's your house, like. Who's getting stabbed in my house? Like, they don't do that enough in horror movies. Where, like, a fucking like a serial killer with a machete or a chainsaw just busts into an estate, loads of random houses, and someone's just like doing the laundry or something in the back of the house. Like the victim like runs through the house trying to escape the villain, and the villain just ends up looking at the dude washing his clothes at the end of the week. Like who the fuck you think you killing in my house? Get the fuck out. Want to make my own parody horror comedy, like fucking scary movie and shit. Oh, that'd be so much fun. Painting goo 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 goo. Must be one of those goth broads. Only they can dance and be depressed simultaneously. You ever seen that video where it's like a lot of bats? They're like hanging upside down from a cage, but somebody has like put the camera upside down with them, so it looks like they're right side up. And it's like watching bats right side up looks like a goth rave. And it's like one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Just like boo, do 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 do. It's fucking like it's fucking brilliant looking. Oh god, man, bats are like. I can't be the only one that thinks bats and rats are like cute. Bats and rats get a bad rap. Say that 10 times quickly. Bats and rats get a bad rap. Bats and bats. We do his abs. Make this like I'm still fairly shit at doing people. My my academic drawing skills are somewhat wanting. I can do animals, fantastical. Like, if you do unrealistic fantastical shit all day, and then you get to the realistic stuff, my realistic stuff is terrible. Well, from my point of view. Obviously, there's a lot of people that would be like, "No, it's good." It's like, nah, trust me, it's shit. That's what's funny about being an artist. Is like, you'll do something and somebody will be like, "Oh my god, dude, that's like deadly, like, you know, that's like really cool, like, you're so good at this," and like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's fucking shit. It's shit. I'm terrible. I think that's hilarious. It's all just shapes and color. You gotta put the right color in the right shape, in the right spot. There's a reason they did like color by paint by numbers, you know. I love that video. I know it's one of the best clips ever. Is the like bats right side up looks like a goth rave. It's fucking brilliant. It's so funny, like, I love it. Bats are cute. Rats I wouldn't trust around my cheddar. Rats are smart though. That's what I like about rats. Rats are like... Rats have intelligence. And they can be trained and stuff and all, like... I like rats. I think they're cool. As a creature, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know... Like I love most animals and most creatures. There's like something about them that I find like incredibly cool. I'm like a... You know, like a bit of an animal... kingdom nerd like that, where like there's most. I put way too much blue in that there. Most animals, there's like an aspect about them that I think is like either really cool or like interesting or something. Obviously, like, you know, there'd be animals where I'm like, oh my god, that thing's like horrific looking, like, you know, but typically it's like one animal that looks mental, but I love it because it looks mental. Like praying mantises. Praying mantises are like one of the most like alien fucking like not of this realm fucking looking things, and the way they snatch things like praying mantises are terrifying. If they were any bigger, they would be like most. Well, not most. Yeah. Well, no. A lot of a lot of bugs fall into that category of like if they were larger, they'd be fucking terrifying. Like loads of bats in Kerry. There is a bat expert in Ballyverney. He's a legend. Imagine being an expert in bats. It's a random thing to be an expert in, isn't it? I suppose it's not as bad as fucking barnacles. Shout out to that fucking Darwin gobshite. I think we came from monkeys. Don't get me wrong, I've said it on this stream before, it's like, I think we could be like... I think we were made by another species. I think that's very possible. I have a sneaking suspicion that we weren't made by God. That we were made by something we think is God. And we're like wrong about what God is. On like a fundamental level, you know? That's one of the things you have to realize these days. Is like we're wrong about so much. And then you go looking for answers. It's like, how do you know? How do you know? Ah, way too much blue. Again. I put too much brew in the goo. There's some words when you're speaking Japu that is just like so fucking funny. These are the colors of shit. These are not the colors of a Greek god's flesh. I'm gonna make some brown. I'm gonna do the fucking lion's mane for a while. I'm getting pissed off at like flesh tones. Can you imagine if there's an Irish band called the Wolf Tones? That's like make a metal band. That's like a parody of them. Call it Flesh Tones. Make a hip hop one. Call it Fresh Tones. Sounds like Prometheus. Yeah, basically. I think that's very possible. I think that's really possible. Is that like another species or another like breed of human? Like a much older, much bigger, much more intelligent breed of human made us and then left. They were like, we need something to run the place while we're gone. I said I was giving up on flesh tones and I just automatically made another one. Such a gobshite sometimes. Defenderoo brew with the brew. I do brew with brew. Never mistake your brew for brew. Do not drink the brew. You know? You must be careful which brew you drink. Potentially very detrimental to your health. Have you seen? Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've seen Prometheus. Yeah, it's fascinating. Started out as fascinating. The way he basically like gene seeds the whole realm from one guy, because he like swallows that thing and he dissolves into the water. Basically gene seeds the whole place. That's totally possible. Like there's flowers and plants and shit that do that, like, you know, like a lot of the spore and fungi stuff, like they just like, you know, pah, and like the thing that explodes and sends all the spores out, sometimes like there's nothing left of it and it dies and all, like you know, Ginny Joes. I don't know what the actual you know, the Latin name, or the, like, you know, what would you call it, the academic assigned name of the thing, the Ginny Joes. But it's that flower that, like, is it, are they the thing that comes off daisies? I can't remember. It's like a weed, isn't it? I'm not sure, like. But, like, they have all the little white little, like, they look like umbrellas or parachutes, you know. They're all like little furry umbrellas. And there's like hundreds of them on one ball. And you could just go like... I always thought it was hilarious when somebody would, like, you'd have one of them and you'd, like, tell somebody, like, you know, say ah, and they're like, ah, and you just, like, put it in their mouth. It's like, like choking on thing. Oh, it's hilarious. I love harmless pranks. That's what I like. I love harmless, like, hilarious pranks. I don't like those pranks where it's like, you know, like some pranks you see online on YouTube are like ridiculous. Cause if somebody was doing that to you, like, you would, like, respond violently sometimes. Like, no. Oh, it's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank, bro. Like, dude, like, about to get shot. Like, you know. It's like, some things are not pranks. If you drink the brew, you will really brew it. I love speaking Japu. Why did you make us? Because we could. That was the fella. That was what the fella said to David. Yeah. Why did you make us? Because we could. Yeah. It's so, like, there's so much gravy in that. Like, do you know what I mean? Where it's like, there's a lot to be said about the whole Christian, Muslim, you know, like the Abrahamic religions and their ideology. Paint. Of this, like, you know, God made us, and, like, you know, we have this purpose and all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, but no, you know, like, I think we were made in the image of something, but I think it's possible that the thing we were made in the image of is not actually God. We just think it's God because it made us. So it kind of figuratively, like, grammatically, like, I suppose semantically, you could say that they are our gods, but, like, you know, literally and technically, it would be like they are our creators, but they are not God, you know, because they probably know what God is if they're at that level of, like, alchemical, you know, and, like, fucking, like, genetic engineering and shit like that. Then they, you know, you would think that they would be like, oh no, God is this, that's God, and they'd be aware of that, like, on a spiritual and intellectual and alchemical level or engineering level or whatever. But what if they don't? You know, like, that'd be funny as well. Like, if, like, that'd be very sobering. Like, you know, like, if David turned around to one of them and was like, does God exist? And they're like, we don't know. like they're super honest about it. They're like, we don't know. And we've been around a long time. Like, we think so. Like, was humanity a bad mistake? Well, that's that would be a subjective perception thing, you know, because, like, human beings have the capacity for good or evil. So, you know, you could say that, like, overall you'd have to look at, like, our entire, like, you'd have to have alright, look at our entire history and then be like, is there a net negative or a net positive effect on the realm. And like I think when humans are being productive and moral and like attempting to be enlightened stuff, I think we're a net positive on the realm. But then vice versa, when we fuck up and like we're degenerate and we choose to like indulge too much and do all these like illogical, irrational things, then we become a net negative on the realm. And I think like society manipulates us into like, you know, making negative choices and net negative choices, and then gaslights us by being like, you know, look at you, look at how you're killing Mother Earth and you're doing all this and stuff and all, like, when it's like it's the same people who have like manipulated you psychologically and fucking, you know, put all these things in place for you to probably make choice X instead of, or, you know, like pick A instead of B or whatever, like, you know. And that's why there is this incredible sense of injustice in the realm these days, because it's like that paradox of like, but you choose to do these things collectively. Yeah, but it's like, why though? Well, like, there's an incredible amount of negative influence, and there's all these like deceptions and all this shit. Like, so can you actually blame people who are dependent on the system when the system encourages them to be dependent on the system, and they're born into a system that they are inherently dependent on, and they know no better, you know? Like, that's that big kind of moral dilemma of like, can you really judge these people when this is all they know? And like, you know, that's kind of like the thing that Jesus said on the cross, was like, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. You know, like, it's when you realize what you're doing, and then you do it anyway, regardless of, like, you know, like when you lose the ignorance. And I think that's why they say ignorance is bliss, because if you're genuinely ignorant, then, like, you know, that's good, like, you know, in a sense for you, because your life would probably be easier. But then if you're not ignorant and you know, that's where the whole, like, you know, guilt and shame and all these things come in, because you know now, you know. Now you know. And if you still choose to be a fucking, you know, degenerate, wasteful piece of shit, even though you know now, it's like that's really the kicker. Oh, itchy. Let me see. I need a browner. Sumimasen. Sumimasen. Still smell like pistachio nutter. There's a 2-part video series I began listening to called Khazarian Mafia, the God Eaters, some fascinating gravy involving our origins. I can rink it to you if you like her. Indeed, do indeed. You know I love the gravy, man. I love the gravy. So, like, knowledge is power, you know. That's a very, very, very true statement. Knowledge is power. If you have the knowledge, then you have power. Now, whether you can act upon that power, or, like, you know, like, that's like the next level of power, is all right, now you have knowledge. Okay, what are you gonna do with that knowledge? You know, the real power is not only having the knowledge, but having the ability to act upon that knowledge in whatever capacity, like, you know. Because, like, you can know how to fight and not be able to fight, you know. You can know how to paint and not be able to paint, kind of thing. Like, it's like fundamental life stuff like that is the stuff that I find most fascinating. Are these like fundamental building blocks of existence that allow you to navigate your environment with you know, wisdom and grace. Hello? 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 Sounds like a dandelion. It's hinted in Prometheus the engineers thought we were a mistake. The trick, Mr. Potter. Yeah, like the you would though, if you were them, you might see us as a like, you'd see us as a regret. You'd be like, oh shit, we shouldn't have done that. Like, but then there would be members of their society that disagree and see us as like, you know, oh, but they've done a lot of good, and like, you know, it depends on the whole nature nurture thing. It's like, yes, but if we teach them the error of their ways, and like, you know, they can be quite useful and stuff, and all, like that would be the difference between a benevolent, you know, god or superior entity or whatever, and a malevolent or tyrannical one. Would be like whether or not it chooses to be compassionate and understanding of context and perspective and all, like, you know what I mean? Because like, if a supposedly superior intellect is like, they are a mistake, they must be eradicated, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Like, do you know what I mean? You would think that, like, if those things are superior to us in like almost every way, then surely they're more like generally wise and intelligent in terms of like emotional things and stuff, like they'd be way more emotionally intelligent as well, you know? So like, it wouldn't make any sense for a higher being, whether physical or metaphysical, to be like, oh, they must suffer and be eradicated, for they have like sinned and destroyed this place and all. Like, if you were truly like just like all around better than human, you possessed, like, you know, all sorts of knowledge and know-how, and like you were aware of like all these concepts and sophisticated, you know, constructs and all this shit, like, you know, the fundamental building blocks of reality itself and all this crap, like, then you would see the human race as like an opportunity, you know? You would be like, oh no, we can do a lot of good with them if we do it right. But then again, you would probably have people in their society that would think like that. They'd be like, no, enslave them, abuse them, you use them, abuse them, and then get rid of them or whatever. Like, because like, if you just extrapolate upon the fact that, like, you know, we're conscious and aware beings, most of us anyway, I hope most of us are conscious aware beings. Doesn't look like that sometimes. Sometimes it looks like most of us are absolute fucking animals, like. But yeah, it would make sense to me that if they looked at us as like something as useful, you know, like they had a utilitarian approach to it, and they were like, oh no, yeah, like we get way more out of this if we use them for something practical, you know. Like one of the theories that I would have is that stuff like UFOs and stuff like that, like, you know, it's like it would make sense to me if that stuff was more human than we would think, you know. Because like when you look at the thing of like, look at like sci-fi TV shows and movies and stuff, where like almost like pretty much everything is like humanoid, you know, if not. Do you know what I mean? Like all the aliens in quotes, they're all humanoids. They're not like really like alien, like, you know. That's why Alien and Predator are like really fucking cool, because those things are fucking, well, Predator's still a humanoid. Alien though, the xenomorph, that thing's like a proper, like, when you think about what is an alien life form, you know, it's like that thing's a fucking alien. Like, it's got acid for blood, and, you know, like, and it makes loads of sense that it's a bioweapon, you know. I think I said this on one of the streams a while ago, where it's like fascinating to ponder the idea of, like, you know, is that why we're not allowed to go to Antarctica? Is there something over there that is like incredibly sophisticated as far as like a predator or something, like, you know? And so I love the movie The Thing. Body Snatchers is kind of a shit movie. Only seen it there recently, but like the idea is cool. The way that, like, you know, the thing, the big hairy tumor yolk that like spreads out tentacles and takes people over. And the way it's done in Body Snatchers is fucking grotesque. And, you know, when you think about like how animals and like fungus and stuff works, like organic life forms, how they would do something like that, like, it's pretty wild. Like, somebody clearly knows a lot about, like, you know, probably marine biology and like jungle biology when they came up with that thing, because like it like spreads out like a fungus and then like mimics you and stuff, and all utterly grotesque looking thing, and then like makes a copy of you and stuff. And a terrifying notion, you know, which is probably one of the reasons like that I would honestly be like, I think there's stuff like that out there, you know, because when you look at other stuff in the animal kingdom that we do know for sure exists, it's like it's not that far off, you know. I think one of the reasons why the concept of fear porn, like, you know, like the whole MK Ultra shit, and like, you know, like what are they in quotes, how are they manipulating us, what are they doing now, you know, like, because if you just like, I assume, perhaps wrongly so, I'm not sure, because I've said this before, like, I don't consider myself to be like really intelligent at all, but then comparatively from my own experience, at least like the last like 10 years, relatively speaking, I'm like more than likely above average intelligence. But I don't consider myself to be like I look at somebody like Vox and I'm like, that guy's intelligent, you know. Like, there's even sometimes where, like, you know, Owen can come across like a fucking bimbo, like, do you know what I mean? But that's why I relate to him more in a lot of ways, because like that's how I feel. Where like I get moments of like pure genius, but it's because I have a creative side, and I'm like, I'm in the flow, and like, you know, because, and that makes sense to me because it's not just me, you know. It's like the divine signals are like working through me because I'm being a conduit, and I'm like, oh yeah, this, because it's like more of a feeling. I equate like intellect with the ability to like think through something, you know. And I obviously do have like a moderate intellect, because like from all the days of playing video games and stuff, where it's like problem solution, because that's all video games really are, you know. That's why there's like a huge such a huge fan base for the Dark Souls games, the Dark Souls franchise, because it's like they were the first series of games in a long time that were like genuinely really challenging to play. Like the amount of people that was like, you know, oh, this is too hard, this isn't fun and all, like, was like absolutely wild. And it was like loads of people like me that were like, I like how difficult it is, but like it's a bit jank and disjointed. Because I remember playing like the second one or something, like Dark Souls 2, and I was like, ugh, this is very not like aesthetically pleasing and so on and so forth. Like, because I was used to playing stuff like Ninja Gaiden and like Devil May Cry, which like look really good and they're shit quick, and there's like, you know, blocks and parries and all these different moves. It's like playing a fighting game, like, you know, it's like 400 miles an hour, like cutting people to shreds and stuff. Dark Souls is like way more methodical and slowed it down, and was like, you know, had stamina bar and all, where it's like everything you did had a cost and stuff, and once you get used to it, it's brilliant. Like, because it's almost like a simulation of like real life, you know. It's like if you were actually a dude in armor and you were trying to take on a dragon, you know, like you're not gonna just like you do in some video games. You're not just gonna run at the thing and be like, on guard, motherfucker. Like, which, don't get me wrong, in Dark Souls, once you know what you're doing, that is pretty much what you do. But there's, to a degree, it makes sense, because it's like every time you dodge, you know, it's going to cost stamina. Every time you block, it's going to cost stamina. Like, you know, depending on what shield or what armor or what sword you have, like, can you block this attack? Can you counter? And all this stuff. Like, it's fascinating to me, because it's very telling of like our current society, where like a lot of people were like, I don't like how difficult this is, you know. Whereas like I like really difficult stuff, but I was used to like a different kind of difficulty, where it was like more timing based and like, you know, skill based and like reaction based and stuff, like, and not as much thinking, just way more like flow, you know. Like a good example would be like the Batman Arkham series, which has like a really nice fighting system in it, but a lot of people find it boring, because it's just like, oh, you just press Y every time a guy attacks, like. But it's like some of the challenges and some of the later fights are really entertaining, because there's so many options, there's so many different enemies, there's like fucking 25-30 dudes on screen at any given time, and like you're Batman, so like you have all these gadgets and tools and stuff, like, and it's totally possible to like Bruce Lee the shit out of every single one of them without getting hit, and like pull off like amazing looking techniques and all this stuff and all, like, brilliant. And it's genuinely challenging, like, at later stages. Like, it's not just like a rhythm game, it's like reaction time, you know, using the right tool on the right enemy in the right context and stuff, like, and you get some beautiful sequences. Like, there's another great one called Sifu, which is, again, it's like, you know, dodging, blocking, parrying and all, like, and there's different types of enemies that can do different things and stuff, and which require you to, like, it's like the difference between a Formula 1 driver and a snooker player or a chess player, you know. A Formula 1 driver is like, you know, it's just like left, right, but it's like what kind of left and what kind of right, and like, you know, how much fuel do you have left, and like all these, like, there's different factors, and it's based on like reflexes and confidence in your physical ability and stuff like that. Whereas like snooker or chess is like, if I put that over there, it'll allow me to do, you know, X, Y, and Z. You know, so you're thinking ahead of time, which is like almost the opposite of flow, you know, where it's like you're going 200 miles an hour and every decision has to be made in a split second, to the point where like you're not even thinking, it's instinctual, you know. It's fascinating how there's like different forms of, in quotes, difficulty. Ah, Maggio-sama! I am very well, how are you? Doom, 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 doom. Feeling good? Good to hear, Margie-sama. Good to hear. How have you been, Raytree? Did you miss me while I was gone? Give me a general update of your life. Can't have a giant kitty head without whiskers. Oh, glorious. Still tastes like pistachios. It's almost time for today's phrase of the day. Let me see.
No, I like being a cop. You know what they say. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
I wonder how big the Nemean lion actually was. You know? All these myths and legends and stuff. How funny would it be if you just like... Hercules was like actually this big, you know, buff dude and stuff, but he was like a bit of a coward and a bit of a smart ass, like... And he was like, oh yeah, I killed the Nemean lion, like, you know, like, but what he actually did was like... You know, find a half-dead, old, really big lion who was like already after fighting off like 3 other young males or something, and then he just like came up behind him while he was like resting under a tree or something, you know, trying to recover from the battle he'd just been through, and Hercules just comes up with a club and just bonks him on the back of the head. And it's like, oh, there we go, that was easy. Just like skins the fucking thing, wears him. It's like, look at the size of the lion I killed. You will fear me, mortals. And like, the lion's soul is in heaven, looking down, being like, what a jackass! If they only knew. To think that there would have been a time where, like, if I'd said such a thing about Hercules, that people would have been, like, really angry at me, like, you know? How dare you, like, blemish the name of the great Hercules? You should be flogged for your insolence. You know, like, today it's like, well, you say anything about Muhammad and the fucking Muslim lads will go fucking nuts, man. Like, you know, they'll kill your ass. Like, so ridiculous. Makes so much sense why, like, Jesus was like, no idols. You know, like, you gotta kill someone over the fact that they like said something about someone else, not even you. You know, like, how could you say such a thing about our prophet? It's like such a fucking stupid thing to do, like, to react that emotionally over something like that, like. That's what I think is so funny about, like, you could like look at the Christian crusades through the Arab, like, you know, lands back in the day. Like, you could totally look at that as like, and I do think that's what like Warhammer's kind of a parody of. Like, if I could be wrong, but like, from what I've experienced, that's what it is, where it's like the Space Marines and the Imperium in Warhammer 40k is basically a piss take of the Christian church, you know, where it's like just these dogmatic zealots that, like, they have a point, you know, like, so a lot of the stuff they say is true, you know, like some of the Space Marine lore and the sayings and the Emperor and all that shit, like, is like very based, you know, but the reality is that, like, they're full of hypocrisy, and they do kind of do the thing, like, out of that game Helldivers, which is like another, literally, like, you know, a piss take, very on the nose kind of piss take of, like, you know, we're bringing liberty to the far corners of the galaxy. Like, how are you doing it? Oh, we show up and we fucking turn everything to glass. We, like, totally level the place. Like, spreading liberty and peace through ballistic weaponry and the love of explosions. It's Not a bad Hercules. He's a chunky monkey. I tremendously missed you so much. Oh, it warms my heart, Margie. I missed you too. I didn't see you in the Telegram chat while I was away, and part of me was like getting worried. I was like, "Is she okay?" Just like I miss you every weekend. I could hardly stand it till Mondays come, and when you took off the week, it just destroyed my whole life. I hope to Christ you're not being serious and you're being sarcastic. Billy says Mike is just too cool. Well, Michael Raffone. Billy likes Michael Raffone. I love Michael Raffone. Michael Raffone is one of the, I think, the best additions to the Painting Goose stream. Fucking love Michael Raffone. It's hilarious. Athenians would be triggered. Jesus. No idols. Okay. Okay, just you. Jesus. Yeah, I know. It's like... No idols. Yes, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. That's what I think is so funny about Christians. Like, I'm covered in Jesus' blood. That's a bit morbid. like, don't get me wrong. Like, I get it. Like, do you know what I mean? But, like, do you really understand the implication of what you're saying, like, out of context? Like, you know, just say, you use your imagination and assume that I'm not a Christian. No, like, and for a non-Christian, how that sounds is a bit, just a tad culty, you know, like, I'm covered in Jesus' blood. You know, like, those are the devil's words and all. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh man, like, obviously there's truth to it. Obviously they have a point. But like, that's what's so funny about Christians is the Christian ideology has such good, like, arguments and such good examples and parables and stories and, like, morals and all, like, brilliant stuff. Lots of it is brilliant, like, you know. But then there's, like, such glaring holes in it. And, like, the what would you say, the people who claim to be Christian are so un-Christian a lot of the time in their behavior, you know, like all the stuff that Owen, like, that Big Bear says, so on point, like, you know, so true. Where, like, they talk, it's the same with the Muslims, you know, any of these religious types, they talk all this shit. They talk such a big game of, like, oh, I'm so, like, I'm so virtuous because I'm a part of this religion. And it's like, okay, well, do you actually adhere to the tenets of this supposed religion and all this shit, like, you know? And it's like, most people are just such hypocrites. Like, there are those who are, like, you know, insanely devout and stuff like that, and, like, you know, and then you can also argue that the insanely devout ones are just, like, fucking nut jobs, straight up cultists, like. And that's what's so fascinating about all this stuff is, like, if you're just open and honest about it, and you just look around and you're like, okay, well, it appears people are behaving in this manner, and, like, this appears to be the truth and all, like, you know, and people are just like, they just get so emotional. And, like, I could have sworn, you know, forgive me if I'm wrong, I know I'm not, that one of the main, like, purposes of religion and martial arts is, like, mediation is like, it's like a regulatory system for like your emotions and your spirituality and like your day to day. It's your moral compass, you know, and it's supposed to be like a way that like you regulate your behavior just in general in life, like, you know. And when you have these, like, you know, oh, do this, this, and this, don't do this, this, and this, and then you see all the hypocrites and the grifters and the, like, you know, like those Christian mega churches in America and all are like, not only are they like embarrassing when it comes to like the things they say and the things they do and the way they behave, and you know, like the whole thing of like, I'm covered in Jesus' blood and all, like, it's like you couldn't think of a less morbid way to express that you are, you know, how else could you say it? Like, you're like protected by the sacred rights that your religious leader spoke about in the past. Like, that's basically what she's saying. Like, you know, I'm covered in Jesus' blood is like, you know, it's a spell, you know, it's a form of magic that people believe in and shit, like, you know. And like, I believe in magic, I believe in the supernatural, I believe in these things, the unseen realms, like, you know, like they, to me, it is illogical to not acknowledge the unseen realms, you know. They exist. Whether you believe in them or not, they are there. And, like, that's why I would look at the Christians and the Muslims and the Hindu, like, I look at religion and I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. But what about all the mad shit, though? Like, what about all the shit that, like, is clearly just, like, fucking retarded? Are we gonna talk about that stuff? Like, and say, oh, no. God forbid. You talk about all the mad shit, like. Find it very funny. Ah, Griffo-sama. Yeah, I figured you were a Christian, Margie. I pretty much assumed you were a Christian. Your age and where you live, I pretty much assumed you were a Christian, you know? And like, some of the fucking coolest people I've come across are Christians, like, do you know what I mean? It's one of those things, like, it's like that whole thing of like, you turn around and be like, yeah, man, there's some serious fucking niggers out there, like, do you know what I mean? And people are like, oh, are you racist? No, I love black people, I love black culture. And that's why I'd be like, I think it's totally logical and rational to be like, that's a black person, that's a nigger. Just like you would be like, that's a white person, that's white trash, or that's a scumbag, you know? Because that's what we call them in Ireland, we just call them scumbags. But now we've a lot of niggers too. Doesn't mean we don't have a lot of black people that are awesome, you know? I've met a few of them. Got some awesome black people in Ireland. Too fucking many, but like, that's a different argument. Got some awesome brown people here too, like, I love Indians. I think the way they sound is hilarious. Just like the Japs, you know? Now, if we were to talk about favorites, like, you know, yeah, like, I actually, like, I love the Asians. Japanese, Chinese. Like, I really appreciate their concept of honor. You know, the martial arts. the reverence for the divine and the reverence for like aesthetic detail and skill and like time and like focus and practice and like mastering crafts and all, and man, you can't beat the Asians for that shit. Like generations of just like making a particular kind of ink and stuff, like, you know, it's like, you want to talk dedication? Fucking Asians are dedicated, like, better respect that shit, like. The thing I love about my culture, the thing I love about Irish culture is like, we're like kind of a jack of all trades, the Irish, like, you know what I mean? We're like, we have great poets, great thinkers, great philosophers, great fighters, great artists, great like we like throughout the ages we've gone from being like, you know, magical creatures that are really in touch with the land to like very sophisticated, very civilized, like, you know, like the Brits came and all, like we, the Irish people have like adapted again and again and again and again to like every incursion, every relationship, every like, whether it was good or bad, like, you know, it's just an island full of people who are like, alright, so we're doing this now, okay. Like, so how does this work? Alright. Like, that's why I love being Irish, is because it's like the real Irish people, like, every time a crisis shows up, every time like something bad happens, you like bitch and moan about it, be like, this is ridiculous, this is what's this bollocks, like, you know? And then within a few weeks or months it's like, alright, I get it now, fair enough, we'll just do this, this and this then, you know? Like, we're really good at that. We're really good at figuring out how to like adapt to tyranny or adapt to a problem, or like, and I take pride in that. I take pride in the Irish ability to adapt and overcome, which makes sense because we're a small island, relatively speaking to our surroundings. Like, you know, we've had to repeatedly be like, okay, we're outnumbered, we're outgunned. How are we gonna deal with this? Like, that's why I think we have a lot of common with like Japan and stuff like that. Like they had the shoguns, we had all the different Irish kings. We have similar like fighting styles in warfare and stuff like that. Where like we would like use like psychological warfare to like make up for the fact that we don't have the numbers. You know, we'll make all your soldiers think that like the demons have come to judge them in their sleep or something, like, you know, like. And it's stuff like that like you could argue is like, that's like a feminine way of fighting, you know, because it attacks the emotion, it attacks the mind, it attacks the pathos, and not the logos, and not the skill or whatever. Because like you only have so many guys, you know. So you say each guy has to be like incredibly effective in comparison to their guys, because they've got so many. So one of you has to be like way more effective. One of you has to be able to take on 10 or 50 of them. And how do you do that? You stay on the move. You attack at certain times in certain ways. You don't just attack up front. You know, like all these different things. Like it's like fighting an animal. Like, you know, you just view the human as another form of animal, and you're like, okay, if I can get them in a group, if I can get them all in the one area and like, you know, fence them off and then like set something on fire or whatever, like, you know. That's why warfare tactics are so fascinating. Because like, just because you have like hundreds of like look at the Russians, you know. The Russians are famous for like there are so many of us, you will not be able to kill all of us, you know, stupid Westerner. And it's like, okay, and like millions of them die in the process. Like, you know, it's like they get fucking shredded. Like, there's like so many of them dying. Like, they don't even have enough guns to give to the amount of men that they are just like it's like flinging shit at a wall till it sticks. Like, it's like, eventually anything is possible with enough vodka, you know, like. And it's just like every single fucking family in all of Russia has like lost like 3 or 5 sons. You know, like the Irish don't do it like that. It's like the Irish are like, if we lose one guy, we're like, fuck, shit, damn. Yeah, like it's hilarious. It's hilarious when you're just honest about shit and you point out the obvious. And it's even more hilarious when people get triggered by it. You know, that's not true. I think somebody's ego is showing. That's one of the things that I've like learned in a big way the past few years is like a real the real test of a man. The real test of a man is his ability to control himself and his emotions and all, like, because I used to think, like, you know, my anger is justified. I'm male, I'm full of testosterone. I can't be expected to, like, remain civilized in the face of such hypocrisy, paradox, and lunacy. Like, do you know what I mean? I will revert to a wolf man or a bear man, and I will conquer thee with my bare hands. Like, it's like, it does. It initially feels very, like, very moral and very justified in a very rational way. Like, do you know what I mean? But there's a better way. There's an even more enlightened way. And there's a more sophisticated way. And I think that's where it's like, you know, they say getting, like, in touch with your feminine side, and it sounds pure gay and all. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's realizing how to fight the feminine energy as a masculine energy. Realizing how to conquer the feminine energy with masculine energy is sometimes you need to be able to. Like, you know, in order to defeat the enemy, you got to think like the enemy, right? So you need to be able to, like, on a deep level, understand what a woman and what on a metaphysical level, like what a female energy is, and you're like, oh, okay, you think this and this, oh, okay, right, okay, so in order for me to be effective against you, I need to do this and this, instead of just, like, you know, crushing you. Like, because I could just crush you. Like, that's what's so funny when you see all these YouTube videos of, like, all these, like, fucking retarded females being like, I could beat up a man. I could, like, okay, love, sit down. Like, you could beat up an ally, you know, that kind of thing. Like, you know, like a soy boy beta cook, yeah, sure. But even then, you know, even then, if the soy boy beta cook, like, suddenly remembers his masculine roots and just, like, grabs a hold of you, or, like, swings with malicious intent, with intent to hurt, and stand a fucking chance. All these women would be like, yeah, I'll box him, and then they go in and they're like, get a jab in the mouth, and they're like, oh my god, I've never been hit with such force. Such barbaric ferocity. What is this? Like, people, not like men and women in the West, have forgotten the power of a man. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, the power of a real man. Like, it's one of the reasons I love working out and doing martial arts, is because, like, it reminds you and shows you of what your body's actually capable of, like, you know, in any given moment, like. And, like, I know I'm strong enough physically, and I'm not even that, like, I might look, like, fairly athletic. My cardio sucks. I've got loads of back problems, like, and all that shit. And I'm still, like, more than strong enough to, like, rip another human being apart if I wanted to. If I really wanted to, you know? The adrenaline kicks in, and, like, you don't have that, like, response to pain and all this shit. Like, there's just, like, there's truth to the, oh man, I just saw red, and, like, blah blah, because, like, your endorphins or whatever they're called. There's a series of chemical reactions that will happen, and it's not just adrenaline, but like your pain registration plummets. That's why you look at yourself later and you're like, shit, what happened there? And like, you know, something only hurts once you're aware of it and shit. Like, in the heat of the moment, you're not gonna give a fuck. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you put your fucking head through a door, like. Like, I've done wild shit like that. Like, I'm 5'11", you know, like I'm not like a big guy. I'm like average, like, you know. I'm like a medium. I'm a medium. I'm not a large. And like, I have done physical stuff where I'm like, Jesus, like if I did that to like that's why I totally understand the whole thing of like, we do not strike women. Do you know what I mean? It is like, and like I'm kind of like in the middle with that one, like, do you know what I mean? It's because like, especially these days, there's some bitches that just need a slap, and then there is the, you know, like, you should never, like, and I mean slap, like, you know, I would never strike a female with like the intent to, like, the same intent that I would strike a male with, like, you know, because like you'd smash her face in, like, you know. It's just, and that's why guys like it's so funny when somebody goes to prison for like certain crimes and all the criminals fuck them up. It's like, why does that happen? It's like, I thought these guys were criminals. It's like, there's different kinds of crime, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, a guy might like steal out of desperation or get involved in gang violence because it's like the only way he knows how to like assert himself is in his environment, or like keep his family safe and fed or something like that, like, do you know what I mean? But then he comes across like a woman beater or a child molester, like, and it's like, oh, where's this now? Oh, is TikTok is not happy with me. TikTok is not happy with me. What does this say? Live access removed. Speech and hateful behaviors. What did I say? Oh god, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. TikTok just like banned my live access. That's hilarious. I don't know. Obviously, I said something like, they say nigger or something. I don't know. Like. Oh, you said a naughty thing. Says TikTok. Fucking, that's hilarious. So fucking funny. Oh, excuse me. I think you'd enjoy the story of the prophet Elijah. That's one of my favorites from the Bible. Yeah, I keep saying that I need to get a hold of a proper Bible and not just like the little novella thing that I have. It's like a short version. And I couldn't find it when I was looking for it. Recently, I was looking for it and I was like, fuck, where'd I put it? I wonder how I'm going to fit the priest into this now. Because obviously I want it to look like Hercules is like about to punt the priest into oblivion, like. The gods have decided. It's like, it's kind of hilarious how like, no, wait, he did actually. I was about to say Arnold Schwarzenegger never did Hercules. He did, didn't he? He did. Wasn't that one of Arnie's first movies when he first came to like America? Was Hercules in New York or something? And like, it's just retarded because it's like Hercules is supposed to be Greek and all. Yeah, it has a fucking Austrian accent. Like, I'm Hercules. I'm Hercules, son of Zeus. Like, KJV. Yeah, the King James version. I prefer Caucasian Caucasian debris. That's a hilarious one. Caucasian debris. Oh yeah, I forgot the phrase. Sorry. Good man. Oh fuck. I must drain Dragonu. Then I will do phrase of Deu. I will return in a moment. Be careful not to knock all the shit over. There's so much paint and water everywhere. Oh jeez. Defender ass! Oh. Oh. Right. Let's do the phrase of the day, shall we? Alternatively, you can say porcelain rubbish or albino garbage. Albino garbage is brilliant. Porcelain rubbish. That's hilarious. Oh, that's gas. Man, I love racist fucking jokes. They're some of the best shit ever. Like, every time you call me Paddy McCarbomb, like I'm just like that's. Because it's true, like the Irish are known for that, like the fucking IRA and all that. You're just like slapping a pipe bomb on somebody's car. Like, that's what I mean, is like, people give the Jews such a hard time about being like sneaky and like, you know, oh, they're so litigious and they're so good with numbers and they're real, like, you know, into their diamonds and jewelry and like they're gangsters and all and like, you know, money, like, you know. And like they don't care, they'll like sell porn, they'll like, you know, sell kids, they'll fucking like, they'll do all this dirty shit and all. Like, oh, the Irish criminals, from what I've seen and from what I've heard, like the Irish organised crime is like fucking wild, you know. And like it would be interesting to know what, like, you know, the fucking, say like what are they called, oh, what are they fucking called? The Japanese one begins with T, doesn't it? The fucking, why am I blanking on this right now? The fucking Japanese gangsters. Chinese are the triads. Japanese are the, what are they fucking called? Oh fuck! Why? I can't believe I'm blanking on this. Like, people would look at me and be like, "What a weeb!" Like, I'm actually not. It's so funny. What are they? They're fucking. Go on, Desmondo. You're gonna get this one. What is it like? Japanese organized crime. Well, it's like on the tip of my fucking tongue. Like the Chinese are the triads, the Japanese are the... What are they fucking called? Yakuza! Thank you. Does begin with T. Thank fuck somebody saved me from that. That would have, like, I would have had to, like, get the phone out, like, the fucking Yakuza. And there's, like, the Italian mafia and all these fucking things or whatever, like, all this, like, organized crime. Like, it's, like, it's hilarious how some of them, like, obviously have, like, a code of ethics and honor and all, and, like, you know, we don't kill women and children, we don't do this, like, you know, we don't, hi, Ian Gannon, by the way, Ian Gannon, fucking, just, like, getting in there, being, like, you know, click, thank you, at least somebody was paying attention. They have, like, an honor code, like, do you know what I mean, like, it's, like, and even, like, the Bloods and the Crips and stuff, like, they'll have, like, that's what it is. It's like that, like, it's like a cult, you know? You have things that are taboo, and you have things that are accepted and stuff like that. Like, you know, it's like Italian mafia, you look at, like, not even Italian mafia, but I suppose it is kind of Italian mafia, but, like, you know, fucking, Sopranos, you know? Because it's, like, American Italian, like, the Jews, you know, like, fucking... You know, aren't they Jewish too, or something like it's like, or are they the Christian? Like, is the like Sopranos? I can't remember if they go to church, or if they have like Shabbat or whatever the fuck it's called. Like, I can't remember. I've seen quite a lot of episodes of The Sopranos, but I can't remember like if they go to church or not. You know, like Christian church. I can't remember. Pinky's out, boys. It's fucking like. This shit's hilarious, like, and then what is it, the Skull and Bones crew, you know, that's supposed to be like in with the presidents and shit like that. It's like they get guys to like whack off in a coffin and all. Like, it's like there's all these, like, it's all just cults, it's all just groups, it's all just like, you know, we do this and we don't do that, and like we have our line is here, our line is over here. Okay, well, our line is over here. It's just all. A lot of it is just arbitrary bullshit, like, you know. A lot of it is just like totally arbitrary bullshit, like. It's not based in any kind of like the Khazarian Mafia, the God Eaters Part 1 or 2. Yeah, that sounds like something I'd really find interesting. I'll check that out later. Domo arigato Desmondo Sama. Right, I'll do the phrase of the day. I'm kind of glad TikTok is like, you're not allowed to do live anymore. Like, suspended, cause like, man, it's actually such a pain in the ass trying to keep an eye on two chats, and like I have to switch tabs, cause like obviously I'm not able to like fit everything on the laptop screen, so like I'm like flicking back and forth between like TikTok and you guys, and I felt like it was like taken away from how much attention I could put on like the chat, like you guys, you know. Never watched Sopranos. I should though. Yeah, good show. It's very entertaining. I think there's been loads of shows that me and the missus like watched together, and then like we were watching that thing Poldark on Netflix, which is like good. It's a good show. Good characters. But we didn't fucking finish the thing, and I think we literally have one episode left, and I was giving the female shit for weeks, where I was like, we still haven't finished the fucking Poldark, and she's like, we will though, and I'm like, no, we won't. Watch, it's not gonna happen, like, you know. And I'm right. I'm always right. I'm fucking sick of being right. Part of me wants to put a shadow on this, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm at this weird midpoint with my like art right now. Painting goo is included, obviously, but like I'm at this point where like I think I keep thinking about using oils and getting into oils and stuff like that, because it's harder to like shade and smooth, like, you know, gradients and shade and blend colors and stuff with acrylics, because they dry so quickly. So you'll put down a layer and then you'll got to do another layer, and like, you know, you get all these like hard edges or whatever, but which is like it depends on what you want to do, because like sometimes I like that, like, you know. But then I'm like, there's no way I'll be able to do painting goos in oils, will I? And then I'm like, well, maybe. I mean, like, you could just like, because some of them I do take days to do, because I'll do 2 hours and then I'll come back and then I'll do another 2 hours and then I'll come back or whatever, like, you know, like build it up. But then even like, you know, say I did the last episode or something, I'd have to leave it somewhere to dry so it would cure. And I haven't used oils yet, so I don't know how long things take to cure, depending on how, you know, if you use a medium or if you don't use a medium or whatever. Like, and I've heard you can get oils to dry in like hours or days instead of weeks or months. Because I've heard that like some oils, like you'll do something on a canvas or a board or something, like, and it's like, yeah, that's gonna take like 3 weeks to cure or something, like, you know. But the oil colors are very, like, from what I've seen, it's like they're very rich, and, you know, you can get like opaque ones and transparent ones and all this fucking shit. Like, so it'll be interesting to dip into oils. Pun not intended. But anyway, today's phrase of the day. Stop rambling. I think I ramble a lot when I'm tired. Helps me focus. Such a lie. Like, I ramble a lot when I'm tired. Helps me focus. That doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, keeps me awake. I think that's what it is. I think rambling while I'm tired, like, just keeps me going. Like, you know, I'm in like autopilot. So just go. There's just the tap's running, so just go with it. Like, you know, just right. Today's phrase of the day. I send cleansing vibrations through the internet to cleanse you filthy, dirty mortals of your filthy, dirty chi. Which is very kind of me, you know. I'm a compassionate, considerate god. Demigod, you know. I care about you guys so much that I have to cleanse your chi before I tell you a random fact. Today's phrase of the day. To break wind in a church is to sit in one's own pew. When I read that earlier on, I giggled to myself for about 10 minutes. To break wind in a church is to sit in one's own pew. Oh, that's a hilarious one. Will I do both of them, or will I leave the other one for tomorrow? I'm not sure. I don't know how it works or if it costs anything, but if you looked into Restream Bot, it shares live chat messages so you and others can view them. I haven't got a clue about any of that shit, yeah. I don't like that's what's kind of funny about like how I don't think about how to make this stream better from a technical point of view. Which is like obviously retarded to like anybody. Like the other streamers would be like, you're fucking lazy and stupid. It's like, I can imagine how that comes across, like, do you know what I mean? Because like it's like you're streaming, like, and you know nothing about streaming. Like, but like, man, I've been painting for fucking 4 or 5 years, and I know fuck all about painting. Like, or at least I did when I started. Like, you know, I think that's why people like. I think it's one of the reasons why people like me. It's because I have such profound confidence in myself. Where I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just do this. Like, you know, it can't be that hard. Like, you know, like, and like most of the time I'm right. Like, people are way too worried these days about like, you know, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. It's like, give it a go. You've no idea. Like, do you know what I mean? Just do it. Just fucking do it, you bitch. Stop being a bitch and do it. Like, you know, because that's all it is. It's like talent is so overrated. I don't think I think talent is like misunderstood, you know, to such a profound degree. Like, most things are like if you just do it all the time, like, you'll get good at it. Like, you know, just practice. It's like fucking anything, like, you know. Oh Christ, knackered. I didn't get to bed till like fucking 5 a.m. And then I woke up at like 11:20, and I was supposed to be down with the community thing in the creative places because we were painting the planters today. And we're painting the designs that I designed, and I was 40 minutes late. I woke up at 11:20. I was like, oh shit. I like texted him. I was like, I'm on the way. I'm sorry, guys. Fucking got dressed. Barely. Just threw some water on my face to wake me up and all. Like, made a coffee and just strolled down there. And then I left my phone in one of their cars. We get to the place and we're like, which is only down the road. It's not like we had to drive anywhere. It's like literally like 60-second drive down the road. Like, you know, it's like the entrance to the town. And I was like, fuck, I forgot my phone. And like, I didn't forget my phone. I brought my phone with me. Like, and then I left it in one of the lads' car. Because like, it just fell out of my pocket, like, when I got in. Like, I was like, oh fuck. He's mad sound though. He dropped it up to the house. Like, thankfully it's not like he had to go out of his way majorly or anything, like, you know. Only took him 5 minutes to get here. It's like, fuck, I felt like such a retard though. I was like, bollocks. Like, I was like, when I woke up, I was already 20 minutes late. Like, it's like, fuck. I've been so focused on, like, you know, for months, I've just been like, stream symmetricals, cartoon designs for t-shirts, like all this stuff and all, like, and now I have like the creative places thing. And last week I was like, you know, down in Kerry giving John a hand, like, you know. So I'm just doing loads of different things now. Like, so I'm going to need to start organizing myself better. And like, you know, leaving sticky notes on the fridge or something, or like setting an alarm on my phone or some shit like that. And I haven't had to do stuff like that for like nearly a year or two, like, you know, because I'm just like doing the same routine over and over again. Which I like. I like it when I get myself into a routine and it just becomes automatic. Like, I have made the female so many cups of tea that every time I go into the kitchen, I like stick the kettle on, like automatically. Like, you know, like I could go into the kitchen for any multitude of reasons, and I will just put the kettle on because I've made that woman about like a fucking like easily like it has to be thousands of cups of tea by now. Like. It's ridiculous. Like, oh man, I'm fucking knackered today. Like, just couldn't sleep last night. I had a lot on my mind. And I was like doing qigong, catching up on Owen's stream at like 4 a.m, just like sweating buckets. Like, just like doing the fucking like a deep Mabu horse stance, like. Sweating like a fucking ninja in a volcano, like, you know. It's like fucking 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's like, okay, now I'm tired. Now if I get in the bed, I'll just go to bed. I'll just go to sleep, like, you know. I hate that. Like, I hate when I'm like lying in bed for like an hour or two trying to go to sleep. And I can't go to sleep because it just feels like I'm wasting time. It's like I could get up and do something right now. You know, it could be like anything. Like, even if it's just watching something. Like, you know, I'd rather be I'd rather be absorbing some kind of inspiration, data, knowledge, like, doodling, practicing, anything is better than just sitting there looking at the fucking ceiling being like, go sleep. I hate not being able to go to sleep. Oh, fuck. Right. I didn't do the other phrase, did I? No, I didn't. Well, like if I come up with the other if I do the other phrase, are you gonna give me another one tomorrow? Are you like, I don't want to burn out your phrases. It's like Desmond is gonna suffer from burnout because he gives me a phrase a day. Like months from now, I'd be like, "Where's the phrase of the day, man?" And he'd be like, "Oh, dude, I just can't. Like, I've got so much to do, so much on my mind. I just like I don't have 5 minutes to like think of some random shite to say." If years from now I end up paying you, and you're like part of the stream, and you're like doing, yeah, I'll give you another one tomorrow. Are you sure? Can you handle that? How are you feeling being my phrase generator? Does it take a toll on your energy, on your energy? Being the phrase generator from the stream. It would just be so funny if you did. Do you remember when Woodshop Bear did that whole thing of like, I must rest, I am weary from battle. Like the whole Jort Wars thing, like, what a faggot. Oh, too much drama. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll get to a point where I just go, fuck all of you, and then go back to what I'm doing. But like, I came up with a bunch this morning, in fact. Are you getting to the stage now where you're like, are you gonna have a little phrase book? Or like a thing in your phone? You're gonna have a thing in your phone where like, you're gonna be like phrases of the day, and you're gonna have all the like, you're gonna have 10 of them, and you're gonna be like, I'll give them these 2 today. They're good ones. Like, you're gonna get to the stage where like you formulate a phrase over the space of a week, where you're like, I can refine this. I can make this like a really fucking good phrase. That's what I love about doing new things. Like, you should be like that in life. Like every day is school day. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you should be constantly learning and constantly adding to your toolkit, mentally, spiritually, physically. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I don't just lift weights or do calisthenics or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I do martial arts orientated stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, now, granted, the reason why I want a heavy bag and like, pads or whatever is because I don't get a chance to like practice my striking anymore for years. Like, but it's like painting. I don't just paint. Like, I draw. Getting better at drawing makes your painting better. And then like once in a blue moon do some clay work or something, and like actually like making something 3-dimensional with your hands in front of you allows your mind to understand better what it is you're trying to achieve when you're trying to draw a 3D object, like, or paint a 3D object and stuff. Like, it's like learning different religions and looking at different cultures, like, gives you perspective. Like, the more, like, the best thing you can do in life as an adult is forever like expand your perspective. Because if you can see things from like as many different perspectives as possible, then that's what allows you to be like, okay, so the truth, in quotes, is the accumulative perspective that allows me to see with the highest probability, the greatest resolution of any given situation. So it's like, you know, somebody holds up a pen and is like, fucking, the pen is blue, like out of like Liar Liar. You know, it's like, the pen is blue. You cannot, like, the pen is blue. Yeah, but it's royal blue, but it's like, you know, ultramarine blue, but it's this kind of blue, but it's like teal. It's like, fuck off. It's blue, right? And like, sure, if somebody was colorblind, they'd be like, well, for me, it's like dark gray, you know, and that's true for Bob, who's colorblind, you know, like, but like, is the pen ever going to be red, even though it's blue? You know, somebody might come in wearing a pair of sunglasses, like them fucking things that Bono wears, or like the things that like that faggot, like Dr. Huberman is trying to sell now, you know. It's like, blue blockers don't do anything, but these ones though, like, it's like the most shitty thing a scientist can do. I just have a section in my phone, notes for phrases. That's fucking brilliant. I love it. You see how cool it is when somebody just gives you a task. You see how detrimental, like, hopelessness and stuff like that can be to, like, all you need is purpose. That's all you need in life. To, like, completely avoid depression, anxiety, anger, like, all these things is just like, do this. Why? Because it is good. What, like, from whose perspective? Who cares? It's like, just do something. Like, and this is coming from a guy that, like, all I did for fucking years every day was smoke weed and play video games. I was still doing something, you know? I was still doing something. I'll always, like, I'll never, like, you could talk shit about video games all you want. Like, you know, you could talk shit about anything, guns, video games, AI, like, it's all the same shit. It's just a tool. Video games are one of the greatest means of like escapism and being able to regulate your emotional or mental state, because you can just completely forget about like the real world and just enter into a fantasy realm and be like, okay, the only thing I have to deal with is like put that box over there right now, or like the only thing I have to deal with is the 3 demon snakes in front of me that I have to shoot with this shotgun, or like the only thing I have to deal with is like, you know, press X on all these things and line them up so that the fucking water can flow through the pipe, or so that, like, you know, all different kinds of video games are like mentally stimulating in different ways and like distract you and all these things. Obviously, just like everything else, is like, you know, smoking or drinking or, you know, fucking even drink. You can drink too much fucking water, like, for fuck's sake. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like playing video games too much and like smoking too much and all these fucking things. Like I didn't have any nicotine again for like a week, and then I got back and like it was the weekend and I wanted to wind down, and I just had like a little puff of like 3 puffs of a cigarette thing just to like and just get that feeling of decompression, like, do you know what I mean? But I wasn't like getting cravings the whole time I was in Kerry, like, you know, helping John fucking move logs and stuff, like, do you know what I mean? It's like I was just focused on my task, like, do you know what I mean? And it's like one of the major things that's allowed me to like I think not smoking is easy, and I've smoked for 17 years. I just it really is true, where it's like you could just replace it with something else. Like, you just have bad habits. These people who are like, you know, oh, I have this and I'm that and blah blah, like, it's all just perspective. It's all just perspective. You're lost in this like trap. You're in a mental or like spiritual trap, and there's a way out, and the way out is within you, and like you just have to realize that, and then like you'll get the fuck out. And like it could only take like days or weeks before your life like drastically improves after being like that for years, you know. And that's why it's so important to have like healthy relationships with people around you, and to be like, it's so obvious, like, coming from where I came from, mentally, spiritually, physically, all these things, like, and being where I am now, it's so obvious to me how easy it is to turn a human being into a mindless drone who's dead at 60 versus like a human being that is incredibly productive, full of life and energy and all these different, can hold all these different ideas and like, you know, live till they're like 110 and like, and do all these things, like, you know, fucking still smoke and still drink and still do all these things and like enjoy them, like, you know. And it's like, it's all just about discipline. It's all just about having a frame of reference where it's like everything you do is your choice. It is your choice to do these things, you know. So like, choose. That's what I think is so funny, is like, look at that movie Trainspotting, where it's like, choose life. Like Ewan McGregor's character says in that, it's like, you know, choose happiness, choose this, choose that, choose life. Because it's just a choice. It's a profound movie, like, that I've only seen like twice, I think, where like everybody's just making a choice. And then, you know, these people will bitch and moan and like, and I've been there, I've done that. Like, I've like even recently in the past few weeks or months, like I had a fucking blowout where I was just like, I was standing at the top of the staircase and I was just like, ah, like fucking Tarzan, like, do you know what I mean? Like, just intense frustration at life, and like in that moment not knowing how to like alchemize it or like direct it in the right way or whatever, like, do you know what I mean? And it's so important, like, it's just like you just have a fluctuation of energy and you need to, like, you know, push it in the right direction and all. Like, that's why I love martial arts so much. That's why I love art so much. That's why I love entertainment so much. That's why I love, like, you know, communication, talking, ranting, you know, because like you don't have that these days where like we're all compartmentalized in our little boxes and stuff like that. Like, and that's a choice too. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like our society has gotten so used to, you know, everybody's online and all this fucking shit. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, being somebody that spends a little bit of time online, and then most of my time, you know, learning or doing, or, you know, like, or walking somewhere and thinking. I love going for walks and talking to myself and talking to God, whatever I think God is. People think I'm crazy, like, do you know what I mean? Where it's like fucking. Now, obviously, I don't like to walk around talking out loud, like, you know, like, yeah, me too, like, you know, looking up at the sky and stuff. Like, people are like, what the fuck? I don't freak people out because I know how to do it within the boundaries of like civilized and sensible society. Like, you know, where like I'm thinking, and then when there's no one around, I'm like talking like quietly to myself, having a conversation with myself, and then God. And then like the ideas like come in and out of my mind, and like talking to different versions of myself within myself. Angry me, sad me, skeptical me, dogmatic me, you know, like all these different things, all these different versions and modes, all these different modalities of my mind, you know, switching between different channels. It's perspective. That's all it is like allowing yourself to like be fluid enough to go in and out of different modes, and then return to center and be like, okay, what did you discern? What are you going to choose to do? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like you have to expand your mind and then contract it and focus and move forward. Like, do you know, it's like, that's why you see these like airy fairy people, these fucking like, you know, love is love and everything is love. They're just all about expansion. They're just expansion, no contraction. Where they have like their mind and spiritual tendrils are just like everything is everything, you know, everything is good, nothing is bad, and all this fucking shit, which is just, you know, psychotic. It's like an illness. It's like a mental illness. Because those type of people would look at something like the yin yang symbol and be like, it's all one. It's not though. It's like the Trinity, like, do you know what I mean, with the fucking, you know, he's 100% man, he's 100% son, he's 100% God. It's like, I get where they're coming from, but the Christian way of explaining it is like utterly retarded. You know, using terms like 100% this, 100% that. It's like, no, like you can only have 100%. Like That's why it's called 100%. You fucking moron. Like, it's like, now obviously there's things like 150%, 200% or whatever when you're talking about increases in multiplicities and stuff like that, or like increases in ratios or whatever. Like, but it's like fundamentally, if you're like, he's 100% this, it's like, well, then that's what he is, you know, like, but he's also 100% that. It's like, no, the terminology you're using and the language you're using is infuriating and paradoxical to the point where, like, it's stupendously retarded to try and communicate it in that fashion. Do you know what I mean? That's why the Eastern people understand way better how to be like, is like this, you know, is like when leaf float down river. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, their parables and their comparisons and their analogies are like so easy to be like, oh yeah, like I get it now. Like, do you know, it's like, and obviously Jesus was the same in many ways. You know, don't cast pearls before swine, like all these things. Like, you know, it's hilarious how, like, just perspective and like looking at things in various ways. Like, you know, it's like, but that's why you need the two. You can't just be expansive like those people where it's like, you can't just be left, you can't just be right, you can't just be, you know, I'm right wing. Well, you're a fucking idiot then. You know, I'm left wing. Well, then you're a fucking idiot then. Like, do you know what I mean? Because, like, if you, like, this whole identity politics, I am this, you know, like, and you get into the language and all, I'm sad. No, you're not sad. You have sadness within you. You're currently experiencing the feeling of sadness. You are not sad. You can't claim to be, you are, like, so you're claiming to be the concept of sadness. You fucking bellend. Like, do you know what I mean? And, like, I've said this. I'm angry. I'm upset. I still say these things, like, but what my point, like, you know, if you get where I'm coming from, the way we communicate ideas is so fucked now, where, like, somebody could say something to someone and the other person will receive that information and be like, Allahu Akbar, you know, like, and it's like, dude, can we not just have a conversation? like, there's no need to resort to such intense forms of argumentation or communication. Like, it's like that bit out of Star Wars. It's like, and then we engaged in aggressive negotiations. Aggressive negotiations? What's that? It's like negotiations with a lightsaber. It's like, it's, you know, that's basically what the Americans do. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, we don't want you to do that with your oil and your gold because it would affect our economy. Well, fuck your economy. Well, no, well, fuck your country. It's like, guys, can we just, will you stop being so, like, egotistical and dogmatic and, like, all these ultimatums, like, well, if you do that, we're gonna nuke you. It's like, so if you don't get this, you know, trade agreement or acknowledgement of some kind of religious claim or some shit like that, you're going to potentially kill hundreds of millions or thousands of innocent people? Okay, yeah, that's rational. Yeah, of course. You're fucking retards. Like, just like, and you wonder why everybody's fucking insane and everybody's like, I don't trust politicians and doctors and all. It's just like, it's safe and effective. And then a lot of people start dying and it's like, you're lying. That's like, no, I'm not lying. My fucking, like, grandparent is... No, my grandparents thankfully died before COVID. I didn't have to deal with that shit. But, like, still, like, you know, you could talk about, like, cancer and diagnosis and all this fucking crap. Like, but anyway, I've been rambling for, like, 10 minutes now. Where are we? Ah, Stabro-sama, you late and gay fuck. Had a shite sleep. Had a shite sleep last nighter. Some jeet couple was yelling back and forth until 2 a.m. I was yelling and cursing at them in Punjab. Inconsiderate shit-hearters. Shit-hearters? Shit lovers. Inconsiderate shit lovers. Oh my god. Well, they do love their dung. The dung is very important. It is a vital part. And like, there is truth. They're like, I know Owen took the piss out of the Pajeets with the whole dung thing, and like rightly so. It is hilarious. Like, you know, it's like what I was just saying about the Christians in a sense. Like, but it's like a lot of what they're saying is true. I mean, cow dung is incredibly useful for fertilizer and all this. So it's like, to a degree, you can understand why they have such a reverence for the cow. But it is hilarious where they're like, the dung can be dried and used as a form of toothpaste, and it's very healthy. And it's like, oh, well, sure. I mean, I can see your logic, perhaps in the alchemical, qualities or, chemical makeup of the substance in question. But nevertheless, most people are going to immediately think, well, you're brushing your teeth with cow shit. That doesn't seem very hygienic. But the Westerner doesn't understand. You have to dry out the dung, and you extract from the dung the potent minerals that you can then, brush your teeth with. It's like, listen here, Sadeep. I don't think you're understanding that Westerners don't like the idea of brushing their teeth with cow shit. Like, but the dung is so good. It's a good dung. It's a healthy dung. It's grass-fed dung. Like, I don't care how organic the shit is. It's still shit, Sadeep. It's like, what is a very good dung? We only have healthy dung here in Punjab. It's like, Margie, I'm so sorry, sir. Yeah, like, he's on holiday. Fuck him. Like, that happens on every. There's always something like that on a vacation where there's one night when you're staying in a hotel and like somebody's having sex really loudly or some shit. It's usually me. Like, at least the Indians wait until it dries. African tribesmen say the fresher the better. Man, I remember seeing a documentary where some white nerd, like some English fucking college nerd, traveled to like some I think it was India, but it was like a rural part of India or Australia or something, and they were like cannibals. They're like sitting there eating like another dude's brain out of a skull or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're like they were covered in ash and shit, and like they're fucking like eating a hand out of a bowl and all. Like, this dude's just like, okay, so you guys just think this is like totally normal. Like, and it's like, think about it. It is though. It's like, if you could, like, I don't know if there's still, like, I don't think there is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there is still places in the realm that you can go to, and there's like, an Aztec style fucking sacrifice where it's like, Dr. Mullah, and like fucking yanks your man's heart out of his chest while it's still beating, while 4 dudes are like holding a limb each, while the blue painted guy is like, fuck it, and then they cut his head off and throw it down the stairs. Like, if you like, could you imagine trying to do a BBC documentary of like, so this is Jaguar's paw, and he's going to show us, like, what they do on a Friday night. Like, it's, well, this is just their culture. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have like 10 people in the background, roped hand to hand, and shit, like, crying and like shitting themselves and pissing themselves and all, because they're about to be brutally murdered at the top of a pyramid. Like, and there's just some English guy being like, so here in Latin America, like, the local tribesmen engage in this thing called ritual sacrifice. But it's just their culture. Like, It's so fucked. Like that's what they're doing with the whole woke stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? This whole fucking trying to normalize pedophilia and all. Like, he's just a minor attracted person, so he's a pedophile. Well, like, you gotta normalize insanity. That's what they've done. Like, that's what, like, the whole calling it clown world from, like, Vox's point of view and all, like, his crowd, his community. I don't know if they coined the whole clown world thing. I just see them use it a lot, and it's very, like, it's very accurate. Very accurate. Utter clown world. Utter fucking clown world. Like, just do 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 do, like, you know, honk honk. It's fucking utter insanity, like. And we're all just trying to live in it, like, you know. Get up, go to work, do your thing, hang out with people, you know, fucking be nice to people and all, like, and then somebody says something and you're like, is that where we are now? Like, you know, you people are totally okay with, like, saying out. So I can't say nigger or faggot, but you can talk about teaching sexual education to 3-year-olds. Okay, fair enough. So those are the rules. Those are the, in quotes, rules of the game that we're currently playing. Is blatant and utter hypocrisy to the level of, like, intentional insanity. Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm just gonna sit back and watch while this all burns to the ground and the snake eats itself. Try and grow a small garden. Make people laugh by doing funny paintings. And maybe sell a painting or two and improve my skills and so on and so forth. Meanwhile, I'm going to eat right and work out, make sure my body and my mind is strong, so that if a bunch of foreign black lads try to, like, you know, bust my door in one day or some shit, or if, like, an Indian tribe pissed off and another Indian tribe tries to fill the streets with fucking blood and cow shit, I'm going to pick up that big stick that I have over there, and I'm going to defend my castle as best I can. Because that's all you really can do these days, is just be like, you know, wash your like a lot of us have basically just washed our hands of society. Like, that's essentially what it is. It's like, I'm out. You know, like the fucking, didn't Owen talk about that recently with the whole, like, was it Token in that episode of South Park? Or he's just like, yeah, I'm out. I'm not playing. I don't want to do this anymore. You people are insane. Like, I'm done. I'm out. Like, that's like, that's why community is so important, because, like, the mainstream collective society is just, like, falling apart at the seams day by day. So, like, everybody's like, anyone else sane? You sane? You sane? Okay, you come with me. You sane? Just chill out on the weekend, have a drink, smoke, take the piss out of things, maybe watch some stand-up, a horror movie, you know, like, talk about shit without being total fucking wankers. Yeah, sane? Some sanity over here. Yes, okay, you brother. You know, like, fucking like, watching so many people in the realm just, like, lose their fucking shit, like, like, every day, like, all the time, you know, like, some fucking, like, you know, drug addict murderer gets fucking like, gets killed or kills somebody, and then it's like some kind of race war over, like, you know, he should be allowed to do that because of systemic racism and all. It's like that fucking, what's that little prick called? Carmelo Anthony, you just, like, stabbed that white kid in the heart over nothing. It's like, what the fuck? And that guy had a GoFundMe. And people are honestly going to turn around and be like, yeah, but that white bitch said nigger and she had a GoFundMe. It's like, I remember seeing that tweet where it's like, the people arguing that these things are even remotely comparable or the same are actually
gone in the head. Yeah, but she said nigger. She shouldn't have a GoFundMe. It's like, no, she should. Because it's about fucking time that people stop, like, emotionally reacting to, like, just word. Like, you'll say something like, well, words are very powerful, you know, and they're like, yeah, and that's why you can't say this one, and this one, because they're so powerful that people will freak the fuck out and all. It's like, no. That's not how society should work, because that doesn't make any sense. You should be able to use all the words in the toolkit to accurately and articulately, you know, describe what you're trying to communicate, what idea you're trying to put forth, like all these fucking things. You should be able to say whatever the fuck you want, you know, and like no matter how outlandish it is, you should be able to say it, you know. Now, in terms of like making claims, and there's all this like legal thing where, like, you know, if you like incite violence or whatever like that, like, I think people should be able to say whatever they want to say, but then if there's any kind of like think about it, right? If somebody goes and says something, and then a lot of other people go and burn down a church, and every single one of the people that burns down the church says on camera to a reporter, I burnt down this church because that guy on the internet said to burn down this church, right? Who do you blame the guy that's like, I think they should burn down the church? You know, even if he says like, you go out and you burn that church, you know, like, even if he's like really like, what would it be, like influential, like, you know, like, even if he's doing some mind fuckery or whatever like that, like, they still took it upon themselves to burn down the church. Like, the other people are the ones that actually did the thing, you know. And this is where you get into this whole like who's to blame situation. That's why I like Owen's streams. That's why I like Owen's perspective on things, because it's like, go to the root of the problem, where it's like, you bought the porn, you bought the slop, you took the loans, you made, yeah, but I had to. No, you didn't have to. You don't have to do anything, you know. You could, if you wanted to, you could just sit in the middle of your kitchen and shit yourself, and just sit in your own shit. If you want, you can't. That's a choice. You could just sit in the middle of the kitchen and just shit yourself, and then smear it all over yourself. You can do that if you want, but people don't, because of things like logic, reason, normal state, like a healthy state of mind, consciousness, being aware of oneself, like all this fucking thing, like, you know, societal taboos, what's considered like hygienic and unhygienic, what's considered a healthy state of mind and whatnot, and blah blah. Like, it's like, anyway, right, I'm gonna stop rambling. At least the, oh no, I already read that one. I'm glad you didn't say American Indians. Nah, I have more respect for the red man than I do the poo poo man. Well, yeah, the red man is like way more violent. American Indians are way more violent. Like, you know, the whole scalping thing. Like, scalping is intense, because you're not even like, you're not even killing the person. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people would like pass out from the pain and the shock, and then there's the blood loss and stuff and all. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, but like, that's not a killing blow, you know. That just like hurts like an absolute cunt and like fucks you up. Oh, excuse me. It's like a kneecapping, you know. The fucking, and like, you know, some people, like, there's different forms of kneecapping. Like, you could do it with a drill or a gun or something. Like me, I'd baseball bat. Here it would be a hurl, you know, which arguably is worse because it's like a blade of wood instead of like a rounded a pole of wood. I'd like to do some tests of like would it be worse to get hit by a hurl or a baseball bat. There would probably be like, I don't know, a hurl is like a wooden axe, so like I can imagine getting hit with a hurl in most circumstances, if not all circumstances, would be way worse. Like, I'd be more confident that I could actually cleanly break somebody's femur or shin or crack somebody's skull or, like, break a forearm or, like, the upper arm. Is it the humerus? The humerus is the upper arm. I can't remember. Ribs, the whole lot, with a hurl rather than a baseball bat. Obviously, I'd still be confident I could do it with a baseball bat, but, like, I'd be even more confident with a hurl. All the weight is, like, at the end of it. You know, it's, like, bladed. It's shaped like a, you know, there's, like, a smaller surface area. Just all the physics about a hurl versus a baseball bat is, like, the hurl is the more dangerous weapon. Now, where you're talking about properties, I think a baseball bat would probably be more durable. Because it's a known thing that hurls, the weakness is the shaft, the handle, where, like, they have a propensity, they have a tendency to break, because they're, like, you know, thinner at the end than they are at the top and all, like, so that's the payoff, is, like, a way more violent, way more dangerous, way more damage dealing, and in a sense a way more accurate deployment of the physics involved and the forces involved, whereas the baseball bat is just, like, you could hit shit with that all day and it won't break, you know, typically. Now I'm rambling again. That's why I'm in the middle of 8 acres. Don't want to be around stupid people. Yeah, tell me about it. If, like, that's it, if I had the money right now, whenever I have the money, if I do have money, I don't fucking know. My general vague plan would be to either, like, because you don't know what the future holds. Like, you know, you could plan, you know, you make plans and God laughs. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, part of me is like the female doesn't particularly like living in Tipperary because there's no water here, and she likes going swimming and she likes going to the beach and stuff like that and all. Like, but I love this place for loads of reasons. Like, geographically, it's very defensible. Which I think it's hilarious how I think like that. Where I'll go up to the hills and I'll look around and I'm like, yes, this is a good location. We could funnel them in here, and there's a rise here that we could launch things from, and, like, you can see, like, there's a lot of vantage points, you know, and fucking few sniper locations over here. Like, I start that's how I think of stuff. It's like, could I defend this sufficiently? Oh, fucking hell. I'm off with the boys to do some cycling today, and then taking my oldest on a motorcycle ferry ride tomorrow. May or may not see me here. Have a great go. Well, if you're gone already, have a good one. Have a good one. The Hurley looks like an American Indian war club. I wouldn't want to be hit by that. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I mean, like, there's a lot of similarities between the way the American Indian languages, some of the dialects are very similar to Welsh, and that's in between Scotland and England. And it's like, well, how does that make any sense? I mean, like, we've been lied to about our history in so many ways. And not just lied to, but they just left stuff out. You know? Like, me and Pruner were talking about that, where, like, we didn't get told in our curriculum in school that, so, like, you know, Christopher Columbus, you know, whatever year, I can't fucking remember, at some point in history, sails the ocean blue in the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, right? Nowhere in the telling of the story that we got told did we get told that the guy who was his navigator was Irish, and that, like, he'd been there before. Like, we didn't get, like, this whole Prussian school shit or whatever, like, where they just, like, you know, boiled it all down to these things and told us, like, a certain version of history and all this crap. Like, they left loads of stuff out, lied to us about so much shit. You know, everything from, like, fossil fuels, dinosaurs, all, like, space, all this fucking crap. Like, you know, it's, like, all designed to make you an efficient worker because they don't want you to think too much. They don't want you to, like, you know, explore other avenues, or, like, you know, it's like, it's a religion. It's a religion. It's a cult. You know, it's like they created the biggest cult. They looked at groups and cults and like how effective they were and like whatever, and they were like, oh, why don't we just like we make the whole world one big cult, you know? And that's why people are so visceral when you question things, where you're just like, yeah, but what about this though? And that's offensive, and it's like, whatever. You're in a cult. You're in a fucking cult. Wake the fuck up, you know. It's not even about you know, the whole existential or like the whole religious or spiritual thing or mental thing of like, wake up, dude. You're in a matrix. You're in a construct. Like, you know, it's like, obviously there's truth in that. You're in a construct of the mind. You're in a mental construct of somebody else's creation. Like, do you know what I mean? And to a degree, your own creation, where like your behavior dictates like the rules that you abide by and all this shit. Like, you know, it's like fascinating. Really, really fascinating, but also terrifying because of the implications and because of the implication. The implication is that you know, you can. It's obvious that you can get people to do anything. People will kill, people won't just kill. They will genocide. People won't just betray. People won't just burn bridges or be disloyal. They will betray. People won't just obfuscate or tell white lies. They will deceive and manipulate, all for the sake of status, perceived virtue. You know, look at me, daddy, I'm a good boy, you know, kind of thing, where it's like, you know, well, I'm moral. It's like, okay, sure, you know. Like, we live in a time where, like, the people who claim to be certain things make any claim, you know, like, well, I try to be like this. It's like, you are probably the furthest thing from that, you know. That's like what Vox says. It's like, it is statistically now, and like as far as like probability goes, it's like mathematically acceptable, if not prudent, to assume that everything that comes out of the mainstream is utter bullshit. Like, that's how bad it's gotten. Because there would have been a point where there was still enough truth in the mainstream that you should have had skepticism, but take things with a grain of salt, and, like, you know, give people the benefit of the doubt. Because there's still more or less like a high trust society and all this fucking shit, and things work, and, like, you know, the good guys are trying to do good and the bad guys are trying to do bad, but the bad guys aren't winning because they're bad, and so on and so forth. Now it's blatantly obvious. The majority of the power play positions are held by degenerate fucktards who are like all the kids in school who, like, you know, they were like picked on or made fun of, or like they're like ugly, you know, like, you know, it's like all you have to do is look at them. All you do is look at them and listen to them talk for 5 minutes, and you're just like, what scum these people are. Utter scum, like, you know. And it's like, that's what they've chosen to be. They've chosen to look at the rest of the world and be like, well, why would I care about people? People are like cattle. People are like sheep. They just do this and this, and, you know, they are dependent on the system and all. Meanwhile, these people will wear a suit made by somebody else, get in a private jet made and run by somebody else, and, like, you know, drink really expensive food and wine and shit like that, like, you know, brought to them by somebody else, like, you know. And it's like they're weighted on hand and foot while they preach all this, you know, virtuous nonsense, like this, like, faux virtue bullshit, like, you know. It's like, we need to be sustainable and green. And then you realize that, like, all the windmills that they've put up are not only visual monstrosities and, like, genuinely terrifying when you think about, like when you look at these grotesquely large windmills made of metal that are just like whoom, 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 and they kill like X amount of birds a year and all this fucking shit, like, and it's like, they're like, oh yeah, like this is like sustainable, safe, and effective energy. This is green, clean energy, and you look at it and you're like, there's no way. Like, maybe if you scaled them down, maybe, or if, like, you use them, because, like, you can use wind, like, there's truth in it, just like all the fucking bullshit, there is truth in it. Like, people used to have windmills, you know? You'd have a wooden mill attached to a fucking, a wheel going through. They were typically put, like, you'd see the really good ones were put beside water. You'd have like a water mill. So it's like you put a big wheel in a river, and that's at like the back of your house or something. And as the water runs through the wheel, it turns the thing, and then that's how they made like granaries and stuff, because like they would have the wheel at the back, and then a series of gears that would like flip the direction of the kinetic energy, and then that would be attached to a big pole or a rock. That would be like grinding all the fucking grain and stuff into flour and all this fucking shit, like. And then you'd have ones that were like windmills, where it's like, but you'd have both, because it's like when the wind isn't blowing, at least the water's still moving. But these things are just these huge fans, these like three big pronged blades on a big pole, and there's a farm of them, and it's like, have you any idea how strong the wind would have to be to like move those blades? Like, those blades don't even look efficient. They don't look like think about it. How do you catch air? Fucking sails and kites and shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the more surface area, the better, because like you just catch all the moving air and it moves away and all. Like, all the windmills you see them fucking building around the place, they're literally like just giant meat grinder blade things. It's literally like their actual agenda is to just kill all the seagulls. You know, it's like, it's ridiculous. Like, Jesus, he's still going. Clash of the Ash, they call it. Yeah, the Clash of the Ash, yeah. It's hilarious. And like, don't get me wrong, that probably would happen if you had two guys, fucking fighting with baseball bats. Like, one of them would break, But I think I'm right. I think a hurl wouldn't have the same structural integrity as your average baseball bat, just because of their, the physical shape of them, like, and it makes sense. Because, like, one is for, the hurl is designed to be, it's designed to stop other hurls and smash other hurls, but also designed to hit the ball, but it's also designed to hold the ball, because you have to run with the ball on the hurl, Our sports are wild, like, do you know what I mean? Like, our sports require incredible hand-eye coordination, balance, like a practiced skill, because like even in GAA, like, our version of football, you use your hands a lot, even though it's our version of football or whatever. Like, it's not actually football; it's like a combination of the two. It's actually like our football is like a combination of basketball and football, because like you have to dribble it. You have to like run with it and dribble it and rubble, but you don't just dribble it on the ground. You have to dribble it like off your foot and stuff and all that. Like, our sports are very cerebral, and like, they require skill. And like, and our guys aren't even professional in the sense that they don't get paid. Our guys do it because they love it, and they love the sport, and they love the history and the ancestry and the tradition, and like, the game itself. And like what it brings, and the sense of community and all that shit, and all, like, and camaraderie, even though you're playing against each other and stuff, and all, like, and like, and we don't have the same kind of. You don't see like Irish hooligans. You don't see like somebody loses a football match and like a lot of Irish people kick off and start like bottling each other, like, it's crazy. It's crazy how like our culture is clearly one of the like, and like, you know how people will fucking, Irish culture is one of the best cultures. There's a reason why everybody loves Ireland. There's a reason why everybody like has a relation, like, well, I'm Irish American and fucking blah blah. Like, there's a reason why everybody there are sayings where was it like there's two kinds of people, Irish and everybody else who like wants to, and they all want to be Irish or something. Like, there's loads of like sayings and stuff like where it's like the Irish have been everywhere before everyone and all, like, and I know that can sound like arrogant and stuff, but what if it's true? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like I think there's a reason why we're so like, leprechaun-y and mystical and stuff like that. Is because just like the Jews, like, our stuff has been around for a long time. We know some deep, like, Gnostic, mythical, like, shit, like, if the Irish people really knew, if we still had our history and our culture and it was still very prevalent, it's dangerous. And I agree with like Pruner was saying this over the time that I was with him. If like it makes sense that there has been a intentional effort to dumb down and remove the European cultures because they're really old, they're really distinct, and they're really inspirational. They're magical. They're beautiful. That's not to say that other cultures aren't. Some are, some aren't. Like there is a beauty to the Aztec culture. I love their weapons. The whole like putting obsidian shards in like a block of wood and all to basically made like a bone saw thing. Like, like all the gold fucking casting and molding and stuff. They had cool jewelry. Like, like aesthetically, there's some really cool. Like, when you see the artistic flair in the culture, that's a reflection of, one, connection to their environment, two, knowledge of their environment, three, intelligence. There's like a expression of intelligence, like form, symmetry, flow, ratios, perspectives, like all these things, like there's intelligence there, like, do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, loads of us would be of the same mind that like killing your own people, like ripping their hearts, like painting them blue and dragging them up and like, killing other people. It's like, but we kill other people ritualistically anyway. Like, that's what war is. So basically all the Aztecs were is like they were just a war tribe, where they went, like, and I don't know if it was just the Azteca or like, there was the Mexica and so on and so forth. Like, there's loads of different ones, but it's like, just be honest, just be fucking honest. Like, it's like we've grown up as a society to the point where we're like, okay, it's pretty fucked up to go to the next village over, kidnap, like beat the shit out of everyone, kidnap them, and use them as ritual sacrifices to see if the fucking crops grow. Like, that's fucking insane. Now, that doesn't mean that there might not be some kind of like metaphysical truth to it. Like, what if that release of energy, and all the, well, there's obviously like scientific arguments where you could say, well, it's like because they had mass graves and just a lot of rotting corpses. Like, that's in Mel Gibson's Apocalypto, where like it shows you that's like it's quite subtle but also very profound, where it's like the same people that are like, we need to kill more people to appease the gods and then our crops will grow, have dumped all the corpses into a ditch, and there's like hundreds of them, and that foul rot is the thing that is killing the crops, because all the blood and shit and piss and all is just like getting in with all the fucking crops, and that's what's killing your crops. If you stop killing the people, your crops, like, if you learn how to farm instead of war, like, you can have your bread. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, where it's like, if you weren't so fucking retarded, like, there is, like, and that's what I was talking about, is like, it's perspective. They can't see it because they're in it. So that's what, like, because that's why it's good for foreigners to, that's why it's good to have trade. That's why it's good to have foreign interaction with other cultures, right? And that's how they've gotten this. It's a scam. It's like, oh, are you racist? Do you not like other cultures? Are you, like, against other forms of culture and all? Well, then, how could you possibly argue with, like, a drastic and rapid and short-term influx of foreigners that have absolutely no intention of integrating? All they're doing is fucking taking advantage of the fucking social welfare, and it's all just big fucking racket, making some cunt a fuckload of money. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, look at you, fucking talking about culture and all. It's like, if you mix all the colours in the wrong way, you will get a grey sludge, and you won't be able to make a pretty painting. There is a way to mix. There is a way to blend. There is a way to communicate different colours and different cultures and different tools and different ideas and different things and all, like, and it's slowly and it's articulately and, like, you know, in a calm, civilized fucking manner. Not lunatics on dinghies showing up on beaches while fucking, you know, people who live there or who are enjoying a day at the beach are like, oh my god, what are all these black men, like, doing on a dinghy? And they're just running into the town. Oh, look, now they're working for Deliveroo. Oh, shit, that was quick. Like, fucking retarded, like. I find it amusing how people who don't believe in borders take offense so easily. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's so funny. They'll show a picture of the globe and they'll be like, I don't see any borders. Are you fucking serious? Like, so that's what you're thinking, right? Okay, you don't see any borders. You're literally showing me an image of the globe, right? Define a border. Because I'm telling you now, where the water starts and the land ends is a fucking border. Oh, these people. The windmills in Vermont. Oh no, that's, where am I? The wind turbines in the mountains of Vermont are a goddamn eyesore and are highly inefficient for mass power generation. Yeah, like, from what I heard, they actually need to power them so they even run. You know? It's ridiculous. Yeah, there's a windmill in Tralee that made flour. It was class. Yeah, man, the old school ones were, like, based as fuck. Hurling is the fastest ball game in the world. Is it faster than what's that other one? What's that kind of gay lacrosse? Yeah, lacrosse is like a gay version of hurling because they have nets on their sticks, which means it's, like, way easier to hold the ball and stuff. Hurling takes more skill and is more violent. The windmills in Vermont make sure that the power that isn't generated from them gets imported from Canada, which is generated by coal and natural gas. I know, it's hilarious. Just like in Idiocracy, replace water with Brondo, the crops don't grow. Even though Brondo has what plants crave, it's got electrolytes. Yeah, no, it's... that's why, again, that's why, like, Owen is, like, so on the money, because it's comical. You look at it and you start, like, speaking truth to power, and you just explain it in a calm and objective manner. You're like, yeah, but this though, okay, well, if this is your goal, but you're doing these things though, okay, but you said this, but this is happening, like, you know, and you look at all of it and you're like, it kind of looks like there's, like, a concerted effort, like, from a top down somewhere, you know, some kind of hidden power to just take the utter piss out of everything, where it's like everything is completely perverted and inverted in such a hilariously ironic way that it appears that, like, you know, it's, like, evil. it's like the forces of evil, like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like, if it was just retarded stupidity, mistakes, if it was just like, oh shit, yeah, whoops, okay, like, we shouldn't do that, then things would be corrected. Do you know what I mean? It'd be like, oh yeah, so it turns out we were wrong, so like, we're gonna do it like this. But that doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? It's like, anything that happens like that, like with the fucking vaccines or the fucking COVID, right? It's like, oh yeah, it turns out we were wrong. So yeah, anyway, what's going on in Iran? And like, you know, it's fucking... Ugh. They're such scumbags, man. They're such fucking scumbags, like. But that's why you have to just laugh at it, like, you know, because if you get annoyed, then you can't be effective. The only way you can be effective is like if you're calm and you're funny. Because if you're calm and you're funny, you can still be very creative, and like, and that's a very Irish thing. That's a very Irish thing where it's like, you know, like, fuck, I can't remember what, like, Owen has said that loads of times, where it's like, was it Nietzsche or like Freud, or one of them was like, there was some psychologist or philosopher or whatever his fucking name was, that was like, you know, you can't psychoanalyze the Irish, and that's very true, because it's like, our culture is like, it is very similar to the Jews, because don't the Jews have that thing where it's like, our culture, our country for the better, no matter what, or something, like, you know, like, you know, we kind of have a similar thing, but it's not like a malevolent one. It's more like a, well, if I just don't take you seriously, if I don't let you, it's like what Tom Barnett is talking about with the whole natural law stuff and the contracts and shit, like, and that's why I know that this is very like ancient stuff. This is ancient, profound truth logic, where it's like, I have free will. If I allow you to impede upon my, like, to interrupt my free will, that's my choice. So what that means is like, it's my fault if I get angry. It's my fault if I get sad. If I fall into despair or whatever, like, it's my fault. I'm in control. And that is the most powerful position to be in. And if you have a society of people whose culture is that, where, because it's in our language, ta ukras urum doesn't mean I am hungry. It means I have hunger upon me. Like, hunger is upon me. I am afflicted with hunger. It's a completely different perspective on existence, on consciousness, where it's like, you don't identify with the emotion, you don't identify with the chemical reaction, the mode of being, the current thing, you know, because that's a big thing in our society the last like 20 odd years, is like the current thing and people identifying with it, where it's like, well, I agree with this, or I'm left, I am right, I am trans, I'm this, I'm that. Like, they're identifying with the thing, and that's why they get so emotional, because you're affecting their personality, their ego. They're attaching their ego to the thing, and that's why when you turn around and you go, shut up, faggot, you know, like, they want to kill you, because you're like, you are, from their perspective, you are attacking who and what they are at their core. And it's sad. It's sad, because I pity them. That, like, you know, the whole thing of, like, again, like, you know, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. Like, they are children. They're like children. And I know that because I remember what it was like being a child. You know? And it was not that long ago that, like, I was a big kid. I still am, in a lot of ways, a big kid. Like, I have experienced what it's like to have, like, an infantilized mind, where you're, like, over emotional and you're reacting to all these things. Like, that's, like, they have They have orchestrated a situation and an environment where the human being is left in a suspended version of infantilization. You have the infant mind. You don't have an adult mind. You have the mind of a child. And that's like widespread in society. So you have 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, and 60-year-olds that still have the mind of a 10-year-old, of a 12-year-old, of a 15-year-old, of a 16-year-old, or whatever. They're still teenagers. They're still kids. They haven't actually grown up. They don't have discipline of their mind, body, soul, and emotions, which is like what it means to be an adult. That's why there was a rite of passage. That's why it's like, look, in order for you to be able to hunt this wolf or kill this lion and bring it home to the village, you're going to have to stay calm. Because you're going to be scared. What if it kills me? What if it gets my throat? Like if it gets my throat, I'm dead. Like you know, there are consequences to your actions. Like if you fail, you will die. If you fail, you or your kin may die. So you cannot fail. You know, there is no the option of failure is not there, because failure equals death. You know. And they've taken that and they've removed it because, like, they're like, you don't need that, you know, because, like, everything's safe. Like, you live in a city, you just get a job. Like, you know, like, sure, the other men with guns will defend you from anything that happens. Like, you know, you just blow this whistle or ring, you know, use this telephone when someone is trying to kill you and just go, help, somebody's trying to kill me. And hope and pray that they show up before the person kills you. You know, and then we have to spend the next 13 years investigating it and seeing if we can find out who killed you and when and why. Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. There's a saying in South Africa, the difference between a tourist and a racist is 2 hours. That's brilliant. That's fucking brilliant. The difference between a tourist and a racist is 2 hours. Oh, somebody was it. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I believe that. Right, I'm gonna leave it there. Nearly at 3 hours. Today was a rambly one. Like fucking TikTok. We have suspended your live access because you said something we don't like. Oh, fuck you then, you fucking bunch of Chinese wankers. Fucking like. Right. Tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. Same time tomorrow, 3 p.m. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll make sure. I have to make sure to remember to get up early, because I need to be at the Creative Places thing at 11, and then we're gonna keep doing the planters and all. But I'll be here for the stream. Sláinte, faggots.